When you hear the word helicopter, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Let me guess, a dramatic rescue scene in a movie, or maybe a millionaire flying over horrible traffic. We're often told that helicopters are a luxury, a symbol of excess. However, today, I want to challenge that narrative. Because what if helicopters and aviation in general could be not only a luxury, but a lifeline, a necessary tool in our ongoing struggle against food waste, hunger, and inefficiencies of food systems. Good morning, my fellow classmates, future pioneers of food technology. My name is Claudius, and today I want to take you on a journey, one that begins high in the sky and lands right in the heart of something deeply familiar to us all, the food we eat. At first glance, it might seem unusual to pair technologies like helicopters and airplanes with food technology. After all, food tech brings to mind images of lab-grown meat, smart packaging, or new preservation techniques. But let's dig a little deeper, because once we do, the connection becomes not only logical but urgently important. Let's start with a reality that affects every country, every community, and every person. Food waste. Each and every day, millions of tons of food go to waste. Not because it's inedible, but because it simply couldn't reach where it was needed in time. The United Nations Environment Program reported that in 2020, 931 million tons of food were wasted globally. That's nearly 1/5 of all the food available to consumers. A staggering number. But these statistics aren't just numbers. They represent the broken pieces of a system that still hasn't figured out how to get food from where it grows to where it's needed, without delay, without spoilage, and also without waste. Picture this: a farmer in a remote region has spent months planting, tending, and preparing for harvest. Everything goes right until the trucks can't reach the farm. Maybe the roads are washed out, maybe they're unpaved, maybe there aren't just enough drivers or vehicles. And the result? The farmer loses income because the food sits, it rots, and it gets thrown out. The community loses food, and the world loses a chance to reduce hunger. Now imagine if there was another option. Imagine if instead of being at the mercy of broken roads and unreliable transport, that farmer could call in a helicopter. Not for luxury, not for glamour, but to save their harvest, to carry those perishable foods quickly, safely, and efficiently to the nearest processing center, market, or distribution hub. Helicopters, often viewed as symbols of status, could instead be reimagined as heroes of the supply chain. Agile, able to access hard-to-reach areas, and also capable to transport food quickly, especially in emergencies or remote settings. We already use them to rescue hikers from mountaintops and drop supplies into disaster zones. So why not use them to rescue harvest from being wasted? And yes, I know what some of you may be thinking. Aren't helicopters expensive? Aren't they resource heavy? Yes, they are. But so is food waste. Food waste costs the global economy over $1 trillion a year. And that doesn't even include the environmental costs. The methane from rotting food in landfills, the wasted water, the wasted labor, the emissions from product that ends up being nothing. When we compare the cost of waste to the investment in smarter logistics, including helicopters in specific high-impact scenarios, this case becomes clear. It's not about replacing trucks, it's about expanding our toolkit. But let's not stop there. Let's zoom out to a broader field of aviation. Cargo planes, drones, and yes, helicopters. And how they connect directly to the work we do as students and future professionals in this food technology industry. Every single day around the world, fresh seafood is flown from the Pacific coast to restaurants in Paris. Tropical fruit grown in Latin America arrives on the breakfast tables of Japan. Delicate herbs, freshly cut, are shipped across continents within hours. The world's appetite is global, and the aviation makes it possible. But air transportation also presents complex challenges like fluctuating cabin pressures, varying temperatures, limited cargo space, and fuel restrictions. These challenges require innovation in how food is packaged, preserved, and even designed. This is where research and development in food technology becomes absolutely essential. We must design packaging that is not only lightweight and compact, but also biodegradable and insulating. We must invest in smart packaging materials embedded with sensors that monitor humidity, temperature, and freshness in real time. These aren't futuristic concepts anymore. They are already in development, and soon they'll be industry standard. We must develop preservation techniques like high pressure processing, freeze drying, modified atmosphere packaging, and also nanotechnology based solutions that allow food to last longer, travel further, and also arrive fresher. Imagine food designed not only for the dinner table, but for the rigors of the international flight. And the benefits go far way beyond convenience. With better aviation-based logistics and smarter food technology, we can open up a global markets to a small-scale producers. A small honey farm in rural India could reach gourmet shops in Europe. A mushroom grower in Kenya could export to health-conscious consumers in Canada. And these aren't just ideas, they're doorways to economic empowerment. Think about the environmental impact too. If we can move food very efficiently and reduce spoilage, we cut down not only waste, but emissions. The carbon footprint of growing food only to throw it away is really enormous. And by minimizing that waste through aviation-supported logistics and also preservation innovations, we can make the entire food system more sustainable. And of course, behind all of this, behind the data, the strategies, the technology, are real people. Imagine the farmer whose income becomes more stable because their crops finally make it to the market. Imagine the family in a remote community that deserves fresh produce thanks to air transport. And imagine the student, maybe someone like you or me, who designs a better package, a better supply route, or better preservation techniques that makes it all possible. And this is what we do. This is what we can be. We are not just future food scientists. We are future problem solvers, bridge builders, and change makers. The intersection between aviation and food technology is just not fascinating, but it is also vital. And it's ours to explore the obstacles we face. Costs, emissions, logistics are real, but the opportunities, they're just as real and just as urgent. So we are standing at a crossroads where climate change, population growth, globalization, and food security all intersect. These tools in our hands, aircraft, data, research, passion, and innovation to make a difference. So let us rise to that challenge. Let us dream big and think higher. Literally, let us be the generation that uses helicopters to rescue harvests, that uses cargo planes to carry nutrition, and that reimagines aviation not as luxury, but as leverage. Leverage for justice, sustainability, and progress. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about flying food, it's about feeding futures. Thank you.